guys, this is Troy from the Cape Ann Conversations podcast, and today I've got Eric from Seaside Sustainability with me. Eric, I'll let you say hello.
Hi, Troy. Et al. Hello.
Yep, thanks everybody for joining us. And keep in mind, this is brought to you by Streamography, Andrew Nicastro, and his podcast studio here in Gloucester, Massachusetts. Eric, I want you to tell us the story to start us out about how Seaside Sustainability got started and what your mission is as a not-for-profit.
Okay. Well, thank you for inviting me, Troy, and you guys out there. So we started. Was the question how did we start?
When did you get started?
Seaside became an entity in 2016, although we really started doing the work that we do in 2017. So not too long ago.
Okay.
Yeah. And so we wear a few hats. We're not a one-trick pony. Actually, half of what we do has nothing to do with the ocean. So our name is not necessarily maybe apt to be well. It's not an apt name for what we do, but half of what we do is about sustainability. So locally, we work on a lot of sustainable initiatives, projects, programs in the ocean, doing some data collection around marine debris, trawling, microplastics, macroplastics, cleanups. We do mudflat acidification testing, water quality testing, so things like that. And we'll call that really hyper local. That's really Cape Ann. And then we extend towards international. We do sustainability consulting, so we consult with schools. I was a teacher for 20 years, and my last kind of stint of teaching, I did a lot of sustainability stuff, working with schools all around the world and trying to make them as sustainable as possible and training students how to do it, from essentially greening schools from the inside out.
How did you make this transition? What got you from teacher to like the first project that you worked on here?
Well, so the program that I designed with some pretty good fanfare, it actually won some national awards and won, lots and lots of students won lots of awards all over the country. It's called Green Scholars, and Green Scholars is a very unique program. It's kind of like herding cats at the high school, middle school level. And so students take on a project. It's either individual or multi-students take on a project. And that project is in the school, in the community, in the district. And it has immediate impacts on the school. So it's a sustainability project, a program. So it can be anything from solar panels to building an edible schoolyard, to composting, to energy reduction, water consumption reduction, anything like that. And so that's the course we designed. And in doing that, there was actually a project. Seaside Sustainability was a project actually of some of my students. And my tenure of teaching kind of ended, and I decided to go and make it on my own. Actually, one of the really important things I wanted to do, I wanted to create an honor society for sustainability. That was like one of the major things I wanted to when I left being a teacher. And so we actually did our first year back in 2017. We did a big research project, and looking at public schools in the United States and who's doing sustainability kind of as a requirement, not like a requirement like the state of Maryland has it. That's actually a requirement for theirs, but more like a systematic. They're really embedded, really engaged in sustainability, and we kind of found that was about 1% to 2% of public high schools in the United States are doing the sustainability. So we're like, oh, well, that's not enough of a market share to like make this thing go. So we looked at STEM. STEM and sustainability are really well matched. Anything that's sustainable, any kind of sustainability project is going to really involve a lot of STEM. And the market was there for a national STEM honor society. So that was a side project of Seaside, and now it's its own entity. It's launched that. So.
And you still run that?
I do. I have to wear two hats. Sometimes now that's like herding cats. So I am constantly herding cats. So yeah. I run Seaside and I run National STEM Honor Society. But National STEM Honor Society is a little bit different. One, of course, is STEM focused, but it's not like a regular honor society, which is high school focused. This is kindergarten. Actually, it's pre-kindergarten, pre-K through college.
I don't want to get too far off on a
Okay.
tangent, but what is the outcome of that? Is it giving students the resources they need to work on STEM projects, or is it scholarships to go to college, or what is the outcome of that
Yeah, yeah.
society?
So National STEM Honor Society, we provide our chapters an enormous amount of resources so they can leverage for their students and for their classrooms, for their chapter. Inside of our resources, there's like $350 million of grants and scholarships. That just happens to be for one of them. But we are recognition. So we do a lot of recognition. So that's recognition of students, recognition of schools, recognition of advisors, of staff, of schools. Yeah. So that's our main purpose is to recognize and support students in STEM from pre-K through college.
And you yourself have been recognized as, I wrote this down here, the Climate Educator of the Year. Was
Yeah.
that twice?
I was very fortunate enough back in the I don't even remember, 2014, 15, to be recognized at the White House for being Climate Educator of the Year. Yeah, it was pretty cool. So I went twice. Yeah, it was pretty cool. And that was with I didn't meet Obama, but I met Secretary Gina McCarthy. And if you know anything about her, she's a Boston native. She's got a wicked Boston accent. Actually, I said to her, I was like, she's like, oh, you're from Gloucester? She's like, you going to the blues festival this summer? I was like, oh my God. She was great. Loved
Shout
her.
out,
Yeah.
Gina.
Gina, she's great.
Was there a particular project that brought you in there, or was it this?
You know, it was Green Scholars, actually.
Yeah,
It was
okay.
that program and giving students the opportunity to make a difference in their community. And then, dozens of them went off to do I don't actually I don't have that number, but tons of them went off to do some really great stuff. So
Awesome.
it's cool. Yeah, I follow lots of them on LinkedIn and on Facebook and seeing the cool stuff that they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Okay, so back to Seaside Sustainability. So give me an example of some of the projects you guys have going on today. What is you and your staff's day-to-day look like?
Yeah. What I do and what we do might be a little bit different. So our staff consists of 8 staff members, me, and then about 100 interns, and they're working from all over the world. We'll get back to that. But so we have 5 program areas. So what one program area does is very different than another program area. So for instance, we have marine science and education, and they're responsible for a lot of our work that we do right here. We just talked about that. We Green Scholars is one of our programs. So the course I designed is one of our programs, and we are at the final stages of putting it on a video-based platform. So then I don't have to go to these schools and do a training. This could be available to anybody all over the world, and we're actually doing it so it can be translated. So it's not a lot of documents. Actually, it's no documents. So anywhere can translate it in any language. It's really exciting. That's two of our programs. Another program we have is sustainability consulting. So we consult with schools on making them green from the inside out. We just worked with a school in Azerbaijan, and we are working with Landmark School right now. And so we have a whole bunch of schools in the works and doing some to work this fall. So
if you develop this online package program that you don't have to teach anymore, now you could send that off to a school, and a teacher could sort of take on that program and create a club or teach it in their classroom or.
Well, it's actually designed. It's a course. It's an actual course. And one of the beauties of it that I always felt was kind of a challenge with education is that I'm not the pontificator in this in Green Scholars. It's not teacher led. It's more like teacher supported, or it's more like kid tested, teacher approved. What is that? Is that Kicks? What is that?
Something like that.
It was
Yeah.
only that. Yeah, Kicks. Yeah.
Don't eat Kicks anymore.
No,
kids.
definitely do not. So any school that adopts this program or has this course in it literally can transfer their school to be sustainable in like a couple of years. I mean, some of our schools like Ipswich Middle School and High School, they adopted Green Scholars. It's actually called Sustainable Scholars there, and they won the Green Ribbon Award, the U.S. ED Department Green Ribbon Award, which is the greenest schools in the country. And because you have 18 students doing running these projects inside of their school and outside their school. So it depends on what they're doing, but it can really make a huge amount of differences in your school. And the beauty of it is then you have a facility that is actually teaching students as they're walking up and down the halls. It's a teaching facility, just like by being immersed in sustainability and having the actions around sustainability and the signage around sustainability and all the infrastructure around sustainability. It just does some really amazing stuff around.
Is it free for schools?
No, but it's a nominal fee. It's like $595 for a year, so it's cheap for a curriculum. Yeah, it's it's not. No, it's not.
Considering Ipswich is probably paying like $25,000 per student per year or something.
Right.
Just for the high school.
Yeah. So it's cheap, and we're trying to make it really cheap and but the thing is that it is a course now. Having adopting sustainability as like a way of doing business is not cheap, in that you have to assign a class, you have to assign a classroom, and you need a teacher. So it's the curriculum is the cheap thing. It's all the other parts and pieces of it that actually school has to get behind and embrace.
Yeah, now it's great to teach these kids at a young age because it's going to be second nature to them. But there's no reason why you couldn't do that at the corporate level as long as you had the right buy-ins. It could be the same actions and education and
definitely
outcomes.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys haven't done that yet with the corporates.
No, we haven't. Well, we've gotten schools have gotten corporate sponsors. That's a slippery slope at a school too. But
Yeah.
But no, we haven't done that yet. But that's Troy. That's some good fodder.
Yeah, there was a video on a Delta flight that I watched recently about a carpet manufacturer that went green. They were basically trying to create a net zero outcome on their business, and they did it. I'll have to get the name and put it in the notes.
That sounds cool. What was an advertisement on the screen?
It was a movie.
Oh.
It was a movie that came out about the sustainability. I'll share it with you. I'll share it with the listeners too.
Yeah,
I'll make a
sounds
special
cool.
video for it or something, because it was really a game changer, because they made more money as a corporate entity by changing their value propositions around sort of their net zero footprint, which was a huge differentiator. Now, if everybody did it, maybe it wouldn't be a differentiator anymore, but at least we'd have net zero effects. Right?
Yeah.
Might be the best outcome.
That would be the best outcome, certainly.
So those are some of the programs that you have going on today.
Yeah, well, we actually have two more. We sell blue technology. So I don't know if you know, in our harbor we have a couple sea bins and a skimmer. But we sell technology. We have a drone that goes around the harbor and sucks up marine debris. It's called a pixie drone.
I have seen this. What's the deal with that? Like, what are the? It just goes by itself.
It's a Roomba.
Yeah,
Roomba for the ocean. It has an autonomous mode. We do not put ours on autonomous because I don't trust it.
Yeah.
I don't trust it with commercial boats. They're not looking, and So we don't put it autonomous, but we put it in the North and South Channel. It does a great job at sucking things up. It's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome. So that's the Pixie drone. And then we also sell things that are called a collect Thor. It's like a sea bin. It's one of those. It connects onto a dock, and it floats and it sucks up marine debris, and also works great. And then we're in the process of buying a couple, maybe a few B-bots, and a B-bot is a drone for sand, and it takes about the top 3 inches. You can actually set it for what you want, but for top 3 inches, and it selects and it collects all of the marine debris, lots of plastics and caps and.
So you just let this go on Singing Beach, and it'll basically just take all the microplastics and left behind.
Exactly, it does
and leaves the sand, the good sand.
Exactly. Yeah.
Does it take anything bad with it? Like, I don't know, like sand, little animals. I don't know.
It's not. It doesn't. The hopper it goes into. If it were to collect, it's kind of like the sea bin or the collect Thor. The hopper it would go into is those are in the ocean. it's not like it gets sucked out and like kills, fish. So we're constantly like picking little live things
Yeah.
out of the sea
Unless it's
bins.
a green crab, then you keep it.
Yeah, then we stomp it.
For those that don't know, green crabs are like an invasive crab in like
In the Northeast. Yeah,
Cape Ann,
yeah, yeah, definitely.
and they're like multiplying.
And they're wicked bad.
They're wicked bad.
Wicked bad. Yeah, yeah. So the answer to that, I I don't know. It's not like killing any sand fleas or anything like that. But
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
I
You
don't.
just have to toss them back out.
Yeah, yeah.
Keep
I mean,
the
they cut
bottle
the hopper, and then they just kind of jump out anyway. So yeah,
Oh, that's fantastic.
yeah, it's pretty cool.
Now, what if say that works?
Yeah.
Now, does the town of Manchester by the Sea have to buy one of these themselves, or are you just trying to put these out there as an organization yourself, and you're trying to find towns or whoever to partner with you? If you
Yeah.
own a dock,
The latter.
let us put it on your dock.
Yeah, the latter. Yeah, yeah. With those, so the ocean-based things, like if you had a collector, that doesn't get like you don't connect that and then come back, and then disconnect and move it. So that thing is on there. So when you install it, so you would sell those collectors. Those are the marine debris suckers up that connect onto a dock. You would sell those to a marina. You would sell those to a city and town, right? Our sea bin and our marine trash skimmer will actually go on Gloucester city docks next summer. So, but what the challenge with those is that they have to be monitored every day. Someone has to go in, clean them out, but not a huge deal. So you just but they need monitoring.
And so the city of Gloucester actually paid for it, or did you guys?
No, we actually
Pay
got
for it,
a whole bunch of grants. So it was a collaboration with Maritime Gloucester and NOAA and One Ocean, One Love a while back. So several years ago. This is pre-COVID, so we got some grant money, did some fundraising, and got a few of these things. So
Do you need more cities and towns to be partners like that for you? Like, how could this community help you?
well, definitely more cities and towns and more awareness on marine debris. I mean, during COVID, private boat ownership skyrocketed. I mean, just completely skyrocketed. So we have tons of people in the water that don't have maybe the best relationship with the water, and definitely they could use some rules of the road kind of refreshers or some they don't really know what the heck they're doing out there, but yeah, so we need to build awareness around marine debris, and most of the stuff that we collect is consumer marine debris, so that's not from commercial fishing. I'd say most. There's definitely lots of commercial fishing stuff. All that, a lot of their stuff actually sinks, unfortunately. So their lines, they're buoys, they float, but a lot of the other stuff actually sinks and then washes on shore. So
What's the biggest thing that keeps you up at night when it comes to like this sea sustainability problem? Is it fishing lines getting caught? Is it right whales? Is it the over carbonization of our oceans? What is the thing that you're like, wow, people just don't realize this? Is there something that keeps you up at night?
jeez.
Maybe there's a lot
I wish
of
you
things.
could. I
but-
wish you could have asked me that before. I could have thought of a really good answer because there's not one thing. I think it's like the soup of everything that just kind of swirls around my brain, and that's what keeps me up at night. And that's what keeps me to wake up in the morning and go, okay, let's go. Right?
Gets you excited to go take on this challenge because
Yeah.
it's infinite.
Yeah, excited and sometimes a little bit mind numbing, but yeah, excited. Yeah, definitely. Wake up and go at it and try to get the world to be a little more sustainable every day.
These hundreds of interns, then maybe if you pivot that question, they're all over the world. What's some of the main problems that they're kind of working on day in and day out? Like, what is the thing that, if they're in 40 different countries even, or whatever it may be, do you see something that they're all coming back and working on because it's such a pervasive problem even outside of Cape Ann?
Well, they all have embraced in one way or another a more sustainable and just world. So our interns, some of them, I'll say half of them, are working actually in sustainable programs. So they're actually working in one of our five programs. The other 50% of them are working in support programs or support departments, like in business, like in HR, like in marketing, like in grant writing. So a lot of them are actually not doing sustainable work, but they're an HR student, they're an HR undergrad or HR graduate student, but they really want to be in HR and do this internship for an organization that's working on sustainability.
So if somebody wants to be one of these interns, how would they go about it?
They would go onto our website and they would apply. So yeah, we have our internship program is accredited in over 1,500 colleges and universities, 1,550 now around the world. So that means they can already get credit for them. So that's something that they should do is check with their college and university. But we also take a handful of high school students. We take most of our students are college, university. A percentage of them are taking it for credit. We take in some high school, and then we have a lot of people like post or graduate school and like post career or changing career. Yes, we have a lot of different opportunities.
Something that's always rolling. You can be
Yeah.
an intern in the fall and
Yeah.
the spring. And
Yeah,
the
we
summer.
don't have sessions. We'd say, kind of we have a need for an IT intern, and so that's what we look out for an IT intern.
Is that your biggest need as an organization? Is just continuously replenishing the turn of
Well,
labor?
interesting. Our internship, we're probably almost at 50. Our ratio is 50-1. So for every one intern that applies, I'm sorry, for every one intern that's hired, we have about 50 that have applied. So no, we don't need more interns. Although we love our interns and we love having the program. But kind of things that Seaside needs, we definitely need local volunteers. So if you're in Cape Ann or local, we definitely need local volunteers. We do actually need local interns that are in the summertime or May through October. Those are always really good. That can be an intern for like 50 hours a week. I'm sorry. 50 hours a week? No. 15 hours a week.
But open to 50 if they're open to it.
Exactly.
What would a local intern do compared to the one in the broader?
Yeah, virtual. So our local interns are really boots on the ground. They're in the field. They're out there, getting dirty. They're
Cleaning up beaches.
they're doing tests in sand and their marine debris trawls and eelgrass and so killing green crabs. So
Yeah,
they do
isn't that
some of
easy?
that. Yeah,
You cook them
I'm
and
out
eat
there,
them.
Yeah. Yeah, I have. I had a green crab stew once. It was mediocre.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I can imagine.
Yeah, wasn't bad.
If it was good, then we wouldn't have a green crab problem.
We would definitely not have a green crab problem.
People would be turning them into fried green crabs, and we'd have even more people on Cape Ann in the summer.
Exactly. Come for our European green crabs and stay for the beaches. So other ways people could help, I think adopting something adopting something more sustainable in your life. I mean, it's just great, So taking something you want to do in your life and making it more sustainable, that's always a good one. It's not really a direct support of Seaside, but we're always open for donations. We have corporate sponsors. We are, we have an advisor program too. So we have adults, kind of quote unquote adults in the world that are. Lots of them are in retiree ages, but also people are still professional and working that are wanting to give up somewhere between 5 and 10 hours a week that are going to work with our interns and kind of be their mentors, advisors. So we have lots of those, and so we're always looking for those too.
So give me some shameless plugs on where people can find you. So the website.
So website, seasidesustainability.org. Kind of a really long URL, but
But it was available.
It was available. Really should have truncated it when I'm giving out my email. I'm like, oh God, it's going to take you a while. So Seaside Sustainability, we're there. We have a podcast on that site. We're on Instagram, active on Instagram, active on Facebook, active on LinkedIn, and we have a great monthly newsletter. We actually have two monthly newsletters. One is our climate change newsletter, which was 3 or 4 great articles on something relevant and timely on climate change. And then we also have our monthly Seaside Sustainability. So if you go on the footer and sign up for, subscribe for our newsletter, you can get some good stuff.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, if anybody listening to this wants to be an intern, wants to help get more sustainable in their life, we have one of these great organizations, Seaside Sustainability, that does more than sustainability for the sea. Right here to go partner with. It's fantastic. I appreciate your time, Eric, for coming on.
Thanks for inviting me,
and what
Troy,
you're doing for
and
the
guys
world.
out there. Thank you. Thanks so much. Really appreciate it.